Hello everyone, and welcome to our College Natural History Day. You've all got your programme for the day, but let me just give you a bit of information about your options for this morning's sessions, which begin at 9:30. Remember, you need to attend one of these sessions. All right, your first choice is called Dogs Might Fly, which will take place in room 27. Professor Keenan, who you may remember ran a workshop last year on how dinosaurs became extinct, will be giving a lecture on the evolution of animals. In particular, she'll be looking at how they may evolve in the future, and this will be followed by a group discussion where you'll get a chance to ask her questions and offer your own thoughts and opinions on this. So, if the evolution of animals is something you're interested in, head for room 27. We all know that animals communicate with each other, but what about flowers? Your second choice is a video presentation called Flowers Talk. This considers the possibility that plants and flowers do actually communicate with each other. The video is presented by Patrick Bell, who has just written a book on how plants adapt to their natural environment. So it should be very interesting. That will take place in the lecture room. Correct that, here in the main hall. We've had to move it because the lecture room is being renovated. The third choice is ideal for those of you who want to get a bit of fresh air. We've called it A World in Your Garden, which we thought was appropriate as it looks at the sort of things you can find just by stepping out of your front door. Anyway, for those of you interested in getting away from the classroom, Dr. Watkins will be taking you on a nature walk through the local park and will be telling you about some of the fascinating animals and plants that live and grow nearby. And it's a lovely day for a walk. The final option, well, you might want to avoid this one if you're frightened of things like snakes, as this is a hands-on workshop where you'll actually get a chance to handle these exotic creatures. It won't just be snakes, however. I believe Tom Howard, our resident reptile expert, has brought some other reptiles along for you to meet, including his pet tortoise Reggie, who is over 100 years old, and a pet lizard he calls Arthur. So, if you want to meet Reggie and his other reptile friends, head on over to the biology lab at 9:30. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. For those of you who don't usually use the biology lab, could I remind you that you need to put on one of the white coats by the door before you go in? Okay, now we've got some students here from Bardwell College who have joined us for today's events. Hello to you all, and welcome. Now, before our day begins, you'll need to get a guest badge, which you'll have to wear while you're on the college premises. You can get these from the administration office. To get there from the main hall, leave the hall by the door opposite reception, turn left, and just follow the corridor to the end. The administration office is on your right. Don't go any further, or you'll be in the sports hall. If you show your guest badge in the cafe, by the way, you'll get a 20% discount on drinks and sandwiches. To get there from the main hall, walk along the corridor between the main hall and reception and turn right. The cafe is through the first door on your left. Directly opposite the cafe, on the same corridor, is the student common room, where you can go to relax and perhaps meet some of our own students. If you have any valuables that you don't want to carry around with you, I suggest you put these in a locker. These are next to the sports hall, opposite the administration office. You can get a key for a locker when you get your guest badge from the administration office. And if you want to use our library, leave the main hall by the door opposite the one you came in, that's the door by the bicycle parking area, and walk to the end of the corridor. The library is through the door straight ahead of you.
Hey, Matt, are you coming out tonight?
I'd love to, Amy, thanks, but I've got too much work. I need to get this psychology assignment in by Thursday.
Oh, what's it on?
Happiness, or specifically, the things that make people happy.
Wow, that's a big area. How are you approaching it?
Well, I've been looking on the internet to see what various experts have to say on the subject.
Did you find anything interesting?
Well, yes, I did.
Like,
for example, there's a professor at Nottingham University, a guy called Richard Tunney, and he suggests that the more close friends we have, the happier we are. And if you see these friends regularly, go out with them and so on, well, that's even better.
I'd have thought that was fairly obvious.
Yeah, I guess so. The next one is a bit more interesting, though. Martin Seligman, a professor of psychology at an American university, conducted a happiness experiment with his students.
What did he do? Give everyone huge amounts of cash and then see how much they smiled? That would help, wouldn't it?
Well, perhaps it would. For a short while, anyway. No, what he did was tell half his students to take part in fun activities, like playing video games or going to the cinema, and the other half to do good things.
Good things?
You know, like visiting elderly people at a care home, or some other kind of voluntary work. And it was those students who reported a more lasting feeling of happiness.
That's interesting.
Then there's George Vaillant, a psychiatrist and professor at Harvard Medical School. He's spent the past 60 years studying people.
So I guess he probably knows a bit about them.
He certainly does. According to him, the thing that really makes people happy is having something to aim for. You know, a goal in the future.
Right. So I can say, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be a millionaire, and that will make me happy.
But Vaillant has a warning here. You need to be realistic. It's no good setting yourself impossible goals, because, well...
Because you'll only make yourself unhappy trying to achieve them.
Exactly.
So does anyone mention anything that people normally assume brings happiness? Like a healthy bank account or an expensive house? Something more, material?
Funnily enough, those things aren't mentioned much. Here's another interesting one, though. Melanie Hodgson, she's a professor at Westbrook University, claims that people are happier when they're getting ready to go on holiday.
Oh, I love that. Sitting on a beach, relaxing, sightseeing.
No, not the actual holiday itself, which Professor Hodgson says can sometimes be quite stressful.
That's true, they can.
But the things you do leading up to it. Deciding what you're going to take with you, what you're going to see and do, packing your case, that kind of thing.
Oh, I get it. Yes, I can see how that would work.
I've also found one of those personality tests on the internet. You know, answer these questions to find out how happy you are.
Oh, those. They're a bit of a waste of time, aren't they? I did one on how healthy are you, and the results were completely wrong.
But they're quite good fun, though, aren't they?
Well, yes, especially if you do them with friends. I think it's important that you shouldn't take them seriously, though.
That's true.
Anyway, why should I do a test that tells me how happy or healthy or successful I am? I mean, I already know the answers, don't I? So I'm not likely to get any surprises like, oh, according to this test, I'm happy. I didn't expect that.
Okay, I take your point. So what makes you happy?
Oh, I don't know. Spending time with people I know and like, I guess. I need people around me.
Me too. But I need time on my own as well.
That doesn't really bother me. I grew up in a big family, so I'm used to someone always being in the room. If I wanted to be alone, to get away from people, I had to go out for a walk or something. I still do that occasionally. In fact, that's one thing that makes me happy. A long walk in the countryside. And the advantage is that you're getting some exercise too, which is something I don't usually do.
But you go running, don't you?
Sometimes, but only because I feel I have to. Anyway, back to your assignment. You've got all the information you need.
Not quite. I need to do a bit more research first.
Okay, so you'll be off to the library then?
I would if I knew I could find something useful. But you know how disorganized it is there? It's impossible to find what you want, especially when it comes to psychology books.
Oh, I know.
No, give me a computer and the internet any day.
Well, good luck with that. If you get bored and want a break, you know where to find me.
Thanks, but if I don't get this done, I'll be in trouble.
Why don't you email Tony? He did a similar assignment last year, so he might have a few suggestions.
That's a good idea. Have you got his email address?
Sure. Give me a moment while I look it up.
Thanks.
Good morning, International Book Fair Ticket Office. How can I help?
Oh, hello. I'd like to book some tickets for the fair, please. And I have a few questions about the event as well, if that's okay.
Certainly. Well, let's deal with the tickets first. Can I just take your details first?
Sure.
Let's start with your name and address.
Okay, it's Wallace. Angus Wallace.
Could you spell your surname for me, please?
Of course. It's Wallace.
Sorry, was that one L or two?
Double L.
Thanks. And your address?
Okay, that's 14 Rose Hill.
14 Rose Hill. Is that rose like the flower?
That's right. And it's in Wallington.
Oh, I know Wallington. It's just outside Oxford, isn't it?
That's right. And the postcode is OX13 3NJ.
OX30 3MJ.
Oh, no, OX13. And it's N for November, not M for Mike.
Oh, sorry. OX13 3NJ. Thank you. Do you have a contact number?
I do. It's 0872 344 9162.
0872 344 9162.
Right. That's my home number. If I'm not in, I can be contacted at work on 0872 298 1191. I'm usually there from 9 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening.
And how many tickets would you like?
2, please, for the Saturday.
2 for Saturday, May the 7th.
That's right. How will you send the tickets?
I can give you a couple of options. The first is by email, but of course you'll need to print them out yourself. Alternatively, there's 24-hour speed mail.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we send them to you by mail and you'll get them the next day. We'll also send you a text message to your mobile to let you know they're on their way.
I think I'll go for that option.
Fine. Now, you had some questions.
Yes, I understand that there are some talks being given by authors. There's one in particular I'd like to go to, by the novelist Sandra Harrington. Do you know what she'll be talking about?
Well, she's got a new novel which just came out, so she'll be talking about that, and we'll probably read a few bits from it. She'll also be answering some questions about the book she wrote last year. I can't remember what it was called.
Fire and Eagles?
That's the one. You'll probably remember she got into a bit of trouble because some people said she had copied another writer's ideas. So it should be quite interesting.
And do I need to book a place in advance if I want to go to one of the talks?
You do, yes. You need tickets and you can only get them in advance by filling in a form on our website. You then pick them up from the ticket office when you arrive at the fair. We'll send you more information about the talks when we send you your tickets for the fair itself.
How much are they?
Oh, nothing. They're free.
Oh, great, thanks. And what's the best way of getting to the fair from the city centre?
Are you driving?
Probably not, what with the way the traffic is these days.
Well, Duke's Court Underground Station is only a minute's walk away. Does that help?
I'm only a short walk from a station at my end, so that's probably my best option. OK, one last question. Is there anywhere to eat at the fair?
Oh, there are lots of cafes and restaurants there. They're generally okay, but unless you're prepared to spend a fortune on a sandwich and a cold drink, I'd go somewhere else.
Such as?
Well, you'll be much better off going to one of the cafes or restaurants in the streets nearby. Oh, don't tell anyone I said that, though.
I won't, thanks. So, how should I pay for the ticket?